No one saw this coming. Feels like the same story since the situation initially happened. Could the Devils find a way to a solution? Implications here. Let's talk about it. Welcome to Devils Digest. We'll be here all summer long. Hope you will be too and hit the subscribe button to talk Devils hockey. Now, Devils are going to make some changes in this offseason, getting maybe some help from some other teams who, maybe want to move on from a player, don't really kind of feel like they want to contend or, whatever their situation might be, could help the Devils find a solution. Now, one player who, is definitely going to be followed and some teams will definitely be interested in is obviously Martin Necas and how that situation is breaking down over there. And latest report, probably not great for Colorado. Nick Kiprio says Martin Necas wasn't overly thrilled with Colorado and wants to explore other options. Colorado will have to make a decision if extension talks go poorly this summer. Wow. Okay, so I think we all remember this trade when it happened. I don't think anyone was expecting it. Kind of came out of nowhere on a Friday night, around like 9 p.m. Eastern time. Martin Necas for Mikko Rantanen coming over from Colorado. Nobody really saw it coming. Two players who obviously Rantanen needed more, another extension. And then you had Martin Necas, who had a year left, signs that he wasn't going to stay in Carolina. Now, we saw what happened with Rantanen when we really didn't think that a team would move off a player so quick after just trading him. And Erik Tulsky basically said, nope, we're going to pivot here and we're going to, not lose this guy for nothing. Now, I think Colorado is a little bit of a different story. You look where Colorado was and is. They didn't really want to get to the number that Mikko Rantanen wanted to get to, so they move off of him. They bring in Martin Necas, obviously a player who's, had a previous 2 good years. Looks like he's trending in the right direction. And, you feel like you can get Martin Necas on board with Colorado and make this thing work. Now, if they lose Martin Necas for nothing, who clearly is not as good as Mikko Rantanen, it looks really bad. It also looks really bad if they trade him and they don't get back the same value. It really doesn't look good for Colorado unless Martin Necas signs an extension. Because if he doesn't sign that extension, you traded away a better player and didn't get to keep him either. So it just is not a good situation for Colorado. And why I bring that up is because Colorado, they're going to sell high. They're going to need to get a deal that, is going to knock their socks off. They need to get back value. Now, are you going to get back a Mikko Rantanen in a deal for Martin Necas? No, that's not going to happen. But you're going to have to bring back some value. When I look from it from a Devils perspective, when you see, a player 1 year left on his contract and, doesn't have to sign, could test the market, probably one of the better free agents available, depending who signs it for next summer. When you look at that, you don't trade a bunch unless he's going to sign that extension. You don't trade from this summer and give up guys like Nemec plus a first-round pick and a little bit more for 1 year of Martin Necas. That just doesn't make sense. Now, at the trade deadline next year, could you come back to it if he still isn't signed? And then maybe it's just that, that first-round pick, kind of probably keep Nemec off the deal. Then I think it makes a lot more sense. He'd be a great trade deadline ad, even if he's not going to re-sign. But if he hasn't signed that extension, and they're talking the deal starts with Nemec or Seamus Casey, you don't go any further. You don't stay in on that deal for 1 year of Martin Necas. There's other players out there who can fit the role, and you don't have to give up players on your own team or give out, big contracts. There are other players who are out there. Now, would I want Martin Necas? Absolutely. He's the exact type of fit I think the Devils need to get back to. They do need to be a quicker team next year. That's when they are successful. I mean, you look at this Devils team, and you saw what they did last offseason. They got more physical. Their DNA is speed. Their DNA is good in the transitional game, play with speed, up-tempo game. That's their DNA. It's not going to work just going out and getting a bunch of physical players. Martin Necas, he's got some speed. He's a player who, can play that up-tempo game, who will create chances for odd man rushes. That's the type of player that you'd be getting out of Martin Necas. The type of player who fits the Devils' DNA. You look, Jack Hughes, Jesper, Bratt, what comes to mind? Their skating, their speed. Martin Necas, what comes to mind? Excellent skater, fast, can move the puck up ice, good in the transitional game. And, his stats, just going on from it, prove it. The past, 3 seasons, he's kind of turned to that player you thought he would be when you drafted him 12th overall in 2017. 71-point season, 53 last year. Basically a point-per-game player, 78 points in 79 games. He's shown he can play on top lines. Went over to Colorado, was basically a perfect fit in Colorado. Him and Nathan MacKinnon, they found chemistry right away. Comes over here, I don't see a difference between, going to Jack Hughes. Probably creates chemistry pretty quick. They're all kind of the same type of player. They play with speed. They know how to play the up-tempo game. Their skating is one of their biggest advantages. It's the type of player the Devils need. The Devils do need to get back to being, that quick up-tempo, good in the transitional game team. Last year, kind of went a little bit overboard on the physicality. Not your DNA. You got to go by with your DNA. Now you can go and get those type of players, be a little bit more physical. That I'm fine with. They clearly need to get a little bit more physical, but you have to expand on your DNA. You're a quick team. You're good in the transitional game. You still have a top power play. Not to mention, Martin Necas had 37 points on the power play last year. 12 goals. Right-handed shot. Feels like a good guy for, Jack Hughes and Jesper Bratt to be able to set up on the power play. This just is kind of a guy who, you look at your team's DNA when they're good, he just bolsters down on it. He's the same type of player. He's a type of player you want in your lineup. And like I said, am I going out and am I giving, unloading prospects and picks for a year of Martin Necas? No. Do I wait till the deadline, maybe see where my team's at, really feel like I can make a run here? You maybe look at some things that you could give up without those type of players. And those type of players, probably are no longer in the deal. You probably aren't talking about that for 20 games plus a playoff run. You do it this summer, it starts to get a little bit more into that area where you're talking about, Simone Nemec, Seamus Casey, first round picks. Obviously, they don't have theirs this season, but the following season, it could happen. But this is a type of player who, obviously fits the Devils mold, what they want to do, what they should do, and get quicker, get better in the transitional game, because that's when they were dominant. They were great in the transitional game. They were a quick team. It fits their DNA, the type of players that they already have, the type of game that they could play. Martin Necas would fit that. Like I said, deal this summer. Look, teams will be around him. It'll be rumors, kind of like, you see with Quinn Hughes and some of these other players. teams will be around him. Does Colorado pull the trigger? It's tough because you're basically saying, well, we lost Mikko Rantanen and we moved him because we didn't want to lose him for nothing. And then, you're going to lose Martinez, who isn't as good as Mikko Rantanen. So we'll see what Colorado does. GMs don't want to admit that they made a mistake. We'll see if Chris McFarland moves on from Mikko Rantanen. Martinez. Hopefully the Devils are in on it. Let me know what your thoughts are below. What would a trade package look like to you for Martinez? Let me know down in the comments. Hopefully hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys all really soon.